I love to fly up in the sky. Through the clouds I reach so high, climbing up to touch the light. Adventure calls me day and night. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. The stars above begin to shine, painting trails so bright and fine. Every turn brings something new, endless skies in brilliant blue. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun.
Beyond ATC.
No limits
connected.
when the drums begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light.
Hello guys, hello Andrew, Angelo, good evening. So let's go for round 2 on this flight. Last time things didn't go so well, so yeah, so let's see if all the issues that we were having, all the issues we were having were resolved. Hopefully they were. So this is our beautiful A321 NEO from Wizz Air, and today we're going to take this beautiful plane to Madeira, all the way from Prague, where we are stationed right now. Neither this plane or the destination have anything in common, so Wizz Air does fly to Madeira, does fly to Prague, but doesn't fly between these two destinations, which is alright, but we'll do it on our side. So this is the beautiful livery from Wizz Air Malta, I believe, and we're going to perform the normal external inspection. So first things first, let's take a look at our angle of attack vane, as well as our static ports for FO and captain, as well as our standard standby static port, our two pitos, sensors all around. Let's take a look at our front landing gear. Parking brake is set, as well as the chokes. We're just going to look at the tire threads, see if there's any issue around here. So going down all the way down from the belly, and trust me, the lights there, it's just a light glitch. You can barely see it. There it is. See, it's the light, it's my flashlight that's causing that black textures for some reason, but once it deploys, it's working. So the lights there, that's the main light, by the way. So left main landing gear, right main landing gear. This one doesn't have brake fans, so it's airline option, doesn't require all airplanes to have. And so let's take a good look at our engine. Beautiful GTF Pratt & Whitney engine in magenta. I just love the green, that green band inside. Blades look absolutely flawless. Of course, this plane doesn't really simulate any issues with the blades, but it's good to see. Maybe in the future we'll have actual damage, like missing blades or something. That would be cool. Not that I want to fly a damaged plane, by the way. So we are looking at our slats here, making sure they're all fine and dandy. Taking a good look here at these little crosses, which are the overflow, overpressure indicators. Green light for the the starboard side. Winglets look, sharklets looks okay. We're missing the 4 wicks for the static discharge wicks. They're missing here, but you know, it is what it is. At least they removed the one from this pontoon here. So flaps look okay. We already seen the landing gear. Let's go down the fuselage now. Look at the cargo door. This is the rear main cargo door, and this is the a smaller one. I don't remember the name, sorry. And then we have the outflow valve. We have the toilet service pane or panel. Rear door is closed, and so this panel here, we verified that the APU doors are shut and the APU intake is unobstructed. Horizontal stabilizer looks good, 3 wicks on each side, as well as the logo up top looks fine. Let's carry on going all the way down here through the fuselage. Now we'll take a good look at our left main landing gear. Didn't make a mistake there now. Looks good. Threads look good. Wheel well looks good as well. And that's our ram air turbine compartment right here. This bulge we got here. These are ventilators for various different instruments on board. And now let's look at the flaps here. All looks fine. We're still missing those wicks there. Let's take a good look here at our overpressure indicators. Looks good. Port, red light, sharklets. So the slats are all looking undamaged. Let's take a good look at our engine, our right engine. Sorry, left engine. I can mix up the left and rights today. Sorry about that, guys. So let me go here. Before I go in, let me take a good look at our chat. So Andrew, of course, Angelo, Lance, sorry, and Angela. Welcome back, Angela. Good to see you again. And let's look at that vein over there. It looks good. So yeah, external expansion of this beautiful livery has been performed. Let's go inside. Let's do a David Copperfield and whoosh. Anyway, yeah, back inside. No Betsy today, unfortunately, but we're gonna carry on. So last time there were a few issues and I could not continue the flight. So today, before I do anything, I'm just gonna confirm. Yeah, there it is. So now these switches weren't working for the life of them. So that was a big issue, and fortunately today they're working. So no issue there, but we did have another issue, was that I mistakenly selected the wrong variant. You see, there are at least 9 different variants to choose in Simbrief for each plane, each A321 NEO. So for the LEAP we got about 9, and for the Pratt & Whitney about 9. And it's very easy to mix them up because there are variants with and without ACT, so auxiliary fuel tanks, and there are different variants for different engine types. So there's the 271, 272, 273, and I picked the 271 when this particular airplane is a 271, and we can confirm that by looking here at the mass imbalance. So currently there's no data because we're not loaded the flight yet. But anyway, maybe we have it here on takeoff. Yeah, there it is. So this is an A321-271NX, and I've accidentally picked the 272, and therefore the fuel calculations were incorrect. So today we have confirmed that we picked the right one, and we also confirmed that our fuel switches were operational, which was they weren't last time. Now, let's see if GSX cooperates today. So apparently these VGSs belong to the scenery, but these are the GSX ones, and they look turned off. Let's see if I press the mechanic button. Will the jetway connect? Doesn't look like it's gonna connect, does it? Well, let's try again just in case we need to press and hold, something like that. Ah, there it is. All right. So this is like the mech is like the initiation button. In real life, this is just a horn that calls the mechanics to let them know about something that you require, or warn about something. But in the FS Labs, apparently this kind of resets or starts GSX, so it's good to know. I didn't know about that, so let's dim it out because Betsy doesn't like bright colors and bright lights. And let's also reduce the floods because they're too bright here. Integral can remain as such, and little flooding. This light coming in is from the scenery. So all right, let's start. Cockpit pre-flight checklist. Parking brake is on. Let's remove this. Flaps are up, spoilers are retracted and up, disarmed, and weather radar is off in the up position, and predictive wind shear set to off to the left. Engine master mode switches to both off. These were the big bad boys in the last flight. They weren't turning on. Today they are. Engine mode selector set to normal. Thrust levers set on idle. Gear is down. We just saw the gear touching the floor, and it is down right there, and the wipers are both off. So cockpit pre-flight checklist complete. So last time we had negative temperature, so we'll see what happens today. So continuing, cockpit preparation, battery 1 and 2, they're both turned on. External power is on. Accumulator brake pressure, let's take a good look. Are they in the green? They are in the green. So we do have the ability to set our own brakes. Cockpit lights as required, instrument display brightness as required, and let's perform the infamous APU fire test. How are you guys? Oh, let me just, alright, here we go. APU fire tests. APU fire buttons, squib discharge lit, master arm is lit, APU fire ECAM status set. Alright, let me just look forward so I can line up my track IR. Here we go. Alright, so external APU fire test conducted. Crew supply is on, it's right here. CVR test, so this doesn't do anything in this airplane, but when we press this button, we should hear a tone in the in our headsets, and as well as the speaker, the airplane speaker, which is right here. So apparently is in a max. Let's see if this needs to be defaulted to max. Do we hear it? No, it's not modeled. So ADIR set nav. So 1, whoops, 2, 3. So this is the correct order. You should set IR1, IR2, and IR3, and wait for the on-bat lights to light up. So that means that it's not using batteries. External lights set wing light and nav1 logo has already been set. No smoke portable, no smoke at seat belts, no smoke portable devices. Depending on the plane, this one has a no smoking, so we turn on no smoking, and it will be on through the entirety of the flight. Emergency lights are armed. Annunciator, let's take a good look. Some people call this the Christmas tree. Not this one, sorry, test. And we just go all the way from this side, so we take a good look at each button to see if it lights up. Coming back up, we see the tree lights, the squibs, engines, engine fuel, hydraulics, electrics, air conditioning. Everything looks fine. Now let's go for the third DRAMS radio, as well as flight control computers, ventilation, everything seems okay. Let's go from the glare shield from the left to right. And it looks lit, and all these buttons, all these are lit up, although we can't really see it. These are lit up, and open door, as well as both DRAMS radios. Alright, looks good. I think I lose a lot more time on this than actual parts, because the way sometimes I watch some videos. Lance, yes, I believe so. I'll tell you during the flight how things are going. But yeah, FS Labs just fixed some of the major issues that the plane had, and so right now we are looking at a very robust plane, although we will talk about a few shortcomings. So probe heat window set on auto, so this indicates the lights off, indicates that it's on auto, as it should. APU bleed is not available. AC temperatures as required. Ecam page set electrical, so we're going to test the batteries. So both battery 1, battery 2, it's producing 28 volts, 0 amps. Let's turn off battery 1, so off indication comes up. Ecam electrical page battery 1 off set. Let's turn it back on. So annunciator indicator is lit off, and battery 1 is coming up on 29 volts, and the amps will reach 0. I believe this reaches 0 amps pretty quick. Not sure if that's realistic, but maybe one day I'll get that answer from a real life pilot. Battery 2, let's test it. So battery 2 off, right there. And indication here, as well as in the upper overhead page. Battery 2 is turned on. Now I'm going to wait for the 0 amp indication, and this little arrow should be off. That means it's feeding from the system. If there's an issue with the electrical system and it needs to drain out of the batteries, the arrow will be pointed the other way around. But yeah, it looks like it's going to work out pretty good. Alright, so Ecam page electrical to off. Now let's go to confirm fuel pumps are off, so we can perform the engine fire tests. Engine 1 fire test. Both squibs on. Push button is lit. Master warning, Ecam status, and pedestal warning. Let's go for number 2. Whoops, that's not discharge then. Both squibs, push button, master warning, Ecam status, and pedestal, sorry. Flight directors both on, better reference, let's listen to 80s. It's a routine radar.
Hotel 19100, wind 225 at 13, visibility 10 miles or more, few clouds at 3000, temperature 06, viewpoint 03, QNH 1012, landing and departing runway 24, transition level 050, feedback hold short instructions, advise on initial contact, you have information hotel.
We got hotel. Let's go to ground. Alright, so EFIS, let's set constraint arc 10, and we're going to set up the FCU afterwards. Radio has been set up. Let's go for the MCDU data. So we're going to bring up our flight plan here that we previously produced via Simbrief, and look at that, I did not mess up. A321 271NX with Pratt & Whitney engine, so did not mess that up this time. Let's go to ATSU, AOC, init. Let's wait for the correct indication. So it says here W6788G, although it's WZZ788G. So I wonder if this is the problem here. It doesn't even accept any data entry. So anyway, it does fill that automatically, and I do wonder if there's a problem there. Hello, Bobby. So you're here. A lot of people today. Thank you for coming. Bobby and Melanie Abreu. Wow, nice name. Love your name, Melanie. Bobby. So far so good, I suppose. I didn't have any WASM crashes so far, so let's not jinx it. But yeah, no WASM crashes. The issues I had previously with the sound and all that, and performance, overall it's okay, but we still have this issue. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this. So you see right now I don't have the FPS counter, but I'm about at 100 FPS, 120 FPS. But when I look back, you're going to notice a stutter. Check it out. You see that? Whoop, no, that's my track IR messing up. Alright, let's do it again. So I'm going to look back, and it's hard for you guys to see, but I do feel a stutter when we look back. That's the only thing I'm complaining right now. I do not have like a top machine, but I do have a 5080, RTX 5080, and I didn't expect to have so many problems. You're going to notice this will be most evident during the flight. When we land and I look back, you're going to see the stutters happening. So that's an optimization issue. They do update the cabin. I'll show you the cabin in a moment. Alright, so we got the initialization received. Oh, my track IR is not helping. Let me set it up. Alright. Let's see if it works now. Alright, so this one's done. Let's go for the OFP data. So we're gonna have a block field of 16.3, and I'm gonna load this instantly, as usual. So data sent, and 16.3 done. All right, that part works. Now let's see if we can get the boarding in one stroke, because last time I needed to do this about 100 times. Board now, request. So the only way I can really verify this is by going outside and see if the loaders are coming. There they are. So there's, I don't know if it's an issue or a feature, but currently GSX voices we can't hear them on the cockpit. Not sure if that's intentional or not, but yeah, we cannot hear when we request boarding. The GSX usually tells you boarding requested. Yeah, the sounds. We'll take a look at that, and the braking. Yeah, here I agree. The braking has gone a little too wild now. It's better in handling, but the braking is not that good. And I'm gonna show you right now another issue I have. Maybe it's a feature again. I'm not sure how these guys do these things, but maybe it is not. So pre-departure clearance. I'm doing this with Beyond ATC. So we are at gate 27. Last time we were at gate 26. Curiously, but today 27. And we got hotel. And our flight number is WZZ78 Alpha Golf. There. Now, when I sent this, let's say on the Phoenix aircraft, I press send. It does exactly the same, but after a moment, I'll get a reply via my DCDU. So this unit right here, which its sole function is to present ACARS information. CPDLC, more better said. But currently, this information will go to the CDU. So we got a message here saying that we got a slot notification and the preliminary load sheet. So it didn't even send the pre-departure clearance. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set up the plane again with everything, everything that needs to be done, and then I'll come back to this.
Hold short runway 12, 3 Golf Quebec.
So I can hear the passengers boarding. Let's just confirm that.
24 taxi by Juliet Bravo, Hotel Alpha, Eurowing 5 November Echo.
Yeah, more passengers are boarding. It's very mild, the sound. So we got an ACARS message. Let's see if we got the pre-departure clearance. Oh, there it is. So it comes here as well as in our received messages. There it is. See? PDC. This message should be here. For some reason it goes to the CDU. Is this working? I don't know. That's something I need to ask the guys at FS Labs. I'm not sure. But I'm used to seeing this working in planes like the A340 and the A350 for mini builds, the Phoenix A320 family. So I think this is either a short sight or an issue currently. Not sure. So we are clear to Madeira via runway 24 departure by Balt 5 Alpha, squawk 6036. So let's do just 6036. I read that correct, didn't I? 6036. 6036. Copy. All right, let's accept that. And that's it. Now you should be going back to the received messages as well as our ACARS page, and we should get a confirmation. There it is. Request status, received clearance confirmed, and the same thing here. So this message should be here. I was wondering if there's an issue with the brightness, but no, it looks okay. It's just not going there at all. So yeah, not sure what's going on there. Maybe it's not working. Maybe. So that's number one grief, and we'll be going forth with like a report and see what they reply in the forum. Yeah, well, that's the other thing. It's the sound. So this plane has, it kind of takes control of Microsoft Flight Simulator sounds, and I don't like that. I don't know why they did it like that. I don't like that. And the external sounds for this plane are a little mild. When it comes to engine sound, for example, they're a little mild, so not good. But you know, there are worse things. So let's fill in our data. So this is the issue I got with this. So we got these DCDU units here, but we can't use them. And in order to have the pre-departure clearance available for me to make my data entry, I need to do this. I need to set up my Copilot CDU and have that info here so that now I can fill in my flight plan correctly. And I don't like that. We have the DCDU units, use them. So again, runway 24 via Balt 5 Alpha. This is the exact same departure we had last time when we had to abort the takeoff. All right, so let me zoom out. Carry on with my checklist. So MCDU set up, RedNav set up, IFR clearance has been received, IRS align has been aligned, flight plan has been reviewed, and if his nav aids, let's turn them on, both VORs set, takeoff briefing, Bets isn't here, and the squawk set. So cockpit preparation complete. Let's just wait for the mast and balance to be concluded, and that's the only way we can be sure is by looking here to see if our passengers are being loaded. They currently are, and you can see them taking their seats. And if we look back, that was a stutter. I don't know if you guys noticed when I look back, and passengers are being seated as we speak. So let's leave the door open so you can see some action in the cockpit. They can see some action from the cockpit. Alright, so we got everything set up. We're just waiting for the passengers to finish boarding. We used to hear like the passengers moving around. Now it's very mild, we can barely hear them. Because, like I said, FS Labs just takes control of the sound and reduces this ambient sound so much. And it isn't fair because, oh my, I'm just noticing these chairs. Look at that, these Wizz Air chairs are so flimsy. Look at that. Is this actually what Wizz Air sports on their planes? Looks cheap, man. I mean, this is a low-cost airline, but looks very cheap. These guys aren't paying for first class anyway. Oh, look at that guy's foot. Poor guy. Yeah, GSX needs to work on their 3D models. At least the stewardess is not like... So there used to be a bug where the stewardess or the flight attendant would have like this weird looking black box, like it was glitching. Now she looks okay. So let's do our to do our stuff here. So let's go for the NTIs. What's the outside temperature? So yeah, we're gonna need engine NTIs is less than 10 degrees Celsius. Air conditioning to on, and let's go for runway 24 full length. And let's calculate. Let's not have them exceeding Mach tow. Nah, there it is. So now we picked the right plane, so the Mach tow is within tolerances. So let's go to performance, data link, takeoff data. There it is. V1 164, V8 168, V2 168. Still a little high. And we got flaps 1 up 0.7 trim and flex to temperature 48. Right, done. Oh, I need to request initiation for winds. And now, oops, wind requests. And now set for page 2 where we need to fill in the zero fuel weight and CG. We're still having passengers being loaded? No. They're all there's some...
Alpha, cross runway 10 Alpha, continue taxi via Delta.
There's one pending there.
Runway 10 Alpha, continue taxi via Delta.
I hope it's not glitching.
For Delta Alpha.
Looks like it's glitching, doesn't it?
All aircraft be advised.
No, she's moving.
Indian current QNH 1011.
She's just too slow. Come on, lady. Flight attendant is gone, so it means that we are concluded.
November 70 taxi via Delta.
Lock the door. Yep, there's the ping. We should have a cabin ready in a moment anyway. Alright, pre-start checklist, APU master set to on. Oh, what am I doing? I need to set mass imbalance. So we got zero fuel weight set at 0.6, and our CG should be 28.4. Block fuel should be 16.3 as fragged. There it is, 16.3. And should give us good estimation. Trip time 4 hours, but we'll reduce this, as you know, 4 hours and 20 minutes, but we'll reduce this for sure. Right, so we're good to go. Flight plan has been set. We got hotel, we got clearance. Alright, now we're gonna continue on. So APU master switch to on, and after 3 seconds APU start. Our MCDU weights have been inserted. Our MCDU takeoff performance have been set. We got V1 164, VR 168, and V2 168. So waiting for the APU to turn on. And we're gonna open here our ETSU, AOC, set departure. Pushback. Probably gonna need engine start after pushback because of icing conditions. Probably. We do have 7 degrees positive, so maybe not. But last time we did, it was a requirement. So APU available. ZAPU bleed on. Alrighty. External power. Oh, sorry. External power off. There we go. Seatbelt signs are on, and air conditioning as required. Alright, we're good to go. Let's request departure. So what we do in this plane is we are going to turn on intercom, and it should disconnect the jetway. There it goes. And we should see the deck agent. Not the deck agent, the ground chief or whatever you want to. I'm kind of used to calling ground chief because of the military when I fly DCS World. But you know, the pushback operator if you want. There she is. Beautiful. So it's working. Finally, something's working with GSX. Pushback and startup. So windows and doors are all closed. Window, red band. Fuel pumps set on. Oops, not fuel transfer. What else? Beacon set on. Bazinga. Steering pin not yet inserted. There's the steering pin. It's right there. So nose wheel steering disconnected because the pin's been inserted. I do not hear the ground crew. Stand by. The PA is going to be too loud. I just know it. All right, let's call.
Locking gear.
And she's locking the gears. All right, let's request push and start.
With a 78 Alpha Golf, I've gate Charlie 27 request pushback and engine start.
With a 78 Alpha Golf, we're on ground. Pushback and engine start approved. Face northwest.
Pushback approved, face northwest with a 78 Alpha Golf.
All right, so we set our ATC to auto. We're going to face northwest. So this one, come on, and push now. Waiting for the release parking brake.
Parking brakes, please.
There it is. Parking brake released. Right, no indication to turn on engines after push, so we can start number 1. Let's start our clock as well for the elapsed time. Transponder Central TCAS set to standby as it should, and clock run.
Hold short runway 12.
Ramp November 56 via Delta. Hold short runway 12 sky. Dubai 3 Charlie Foxtrot.
1 starting up.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now ask for your attention while we take
Too
you
loud.
through the safety procedures on this.
Quiet, Norm.
Safety card is in your seat pocket, showing the exit routes, oxygen masks.
These barriers are awfully close to the taxiway, but I guess that we have clearance. So there's a cooling timer you can see here. Parking brake set. These are characteristic of the Pratt & Whitney engine. So you see the cooling, it's a countdown, so the engine needs to be cooled first. You see it's 1 minute for cooling for each engine, so more or less 1 minute and 5 seconds. Right, here comes the engine. Engine started up. You can hear it starting. So the parking brake set. Wonderful sound.
Hold in place with the strap. Pull on each side to adjust. Put on your own mask before helping others.
So this beep you're hearing is just GSX waiting for a confirmation for a good engine start. And I'm not gonna take chances. I'm gonna wait for engine to
Cross runway 12 at Alpha. Continue taxi via Delta Lima Hotel Sky Dubai 3 Charlie Foxtrot.
there goes the bus trip. Let's start number 2.
Inflate or needs topping up, blow into the tube. There is a light and whistle for attracting attention.
Again, the cooldown starts. We need to wait. It's a characteristic of the PW engines, as it was with the IAEs. The IAEs do need a spool. They have a longer spool because I believe they have also the necessity to cool down before starting. It's just something you learn to live with. It just takes a little longer to start up, that's all. So the only people that might be impatient are the ground crew, because they want to detach the tug and all that and get on with their lives, but I guess they're gonna have to wait for a moment. "15 seconds. There it goes. Number 2 starting. We got a company message. We can look into that as we are waiting. That's probably the final load sheet. Yep, there is 211. That is confirmed. And we got 7.6, and that's what we, yeah, correct, right. Let's go for our charts. So let's go for the SID, or let's go for the pins. Alright, let's call GSX and tell them that we got a good engine start. And the way to do it on this plane is we just press cancel. Where is departure, pushback, and now cancel push.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect. Unlocking gear.
Right, let's request taxi.
Reserve 78 Alpha Golf, request taxi to the active.
Reserve 78 Alpha Golf, runway 24 taxi via Hotel 1 Hotel Alpha.
Runway 24 taxi via Hotel 1 Hotel Alpha. Reserve 78 Alpha Golf.
So runway 24 is right here. And we should take Hotel 1. We're right here. So we're going to take Hotel 1 Hotel and then connect to Alpha, and Alpha all the way to runway 24. So should do this directly here. Right.
Left is clear, right is clear.
Copy. After start checklist continuing, or actually pushback and startup checklist. Engine mode selector back to norm. APU bleed to off. Let's turn off back 1, off, back up, and APU master switch on, and NTIs. Let's go with engine NTIs 1 and 2. As you know, below 10 degrees Celsius, engine NTIs is required on taxi and all the way down to the climb. Before taxi checklist, auto brake set to max. There goes our safety pin. Spoilers set to arm. Let's just raise this. Flaps set for takeoff. We should have flaps 1. You can hear the whale sound when I had a throttle. That's good. Engine NTIs as required. Flight controls as check. Full deflection left. Neutral. Full deflection right. Neutral. Full pitch up. Neutral. Full pitch down. Neutral. Full rudder. Oop. Full rudder left. Neutral. Full rudder right. Neutral. Alright. Oh, it just slipped. Alright, we're good to go. So taxi checklist, nose light set for taxi, runway turn off lights. Let's warn the crew that we're moving. Strobe set to auto as they are. Parking brake off. And takeoff config. Check. Set normal. Alright, there we go. Just listen to the whale sound. Beautiful. A bit low, but you know, So we don't have a little aircraft here to help us, but we should follow H then. So this is Hotel 1, and then we go through Hotel all the way to Alpha. Should be easy to spot. If not, we'll bring up our trusted and you just love the sound. I mean, I like the LEAP engines because that's the most common engine and they're very quick in response and all that. But that's a Hotel 1 right here. And we should be able to turn to Alpha up ahead, I believe. I think it's a right-hand turn because we can't go forth, so there's Hotel 1, still on Hotel 1, and Hotel, alright, so this is Hotel. So I believe this will take us all the way to Alpha. So we should be doing something like this, straight to Alpha. If not, we'll improvise a little bit, but I think it will. So this is the Václav Havel Airport in Prague, and it looks a mix of old school Soviet design and some modernization here and there. So let's carry on with Hotel. Lots of intersections here. Let's not exceed taxi speed, but let's not crawl either. Yeah, Lance, the sounds, the whale sound, I'm gonna do it for you. Listen. So this is me throttling up a little bit. And let's go outside so you guys can hear it as well. Yeah, it's a little mild. I was expecting it to be a little more present, but what I'm noticing is that this airport doesn't have much traffic. Maybe I do have the traffic set for the winter hops, so maybe this airport at some point during the winter doesn't have much activity. But it is a good day today to fly. I'm not sure. Alright, this is Alpha. So that Hotel.
Hotel Echo at Gate Bravo 15 request pushback and engine start. Chenex 3 Hotel Echo.
So runway 24 is right here.
Approved. Face southwest. Pushback and engine start approved. Face southwest. Chenex 3 Hotel Echo.
So let's just set this for the transition altitude, which I believe it's 6,000, if I'm not mistaken. So we are going
Within 78 Alpha Golf. Contact with Tower 134.
to tower. Oh.
Contact Tower 134.56 with 78 Alpha Golf.
Alright, so we're going to line up on the visual holding point up ahead, and then we're going to prepare our plane for departure. So one of the things that we need to do is turn on TCAS. Come on. Yeah, just like we were talking earlier, these brakes are just too aggressive. I need to set up a curve for this. Right, this is the visual holding point right here. And usually the tower calls us when we're holding here, but we're gonna hold here. All right, so cabin crew notify. External lights will be set to on. Nose wheel string set for takeoff. NTI says required. PAC says required. TCAS set to above TARA. Weather radar set to on, and wind predictive wind shear set to on. Weather mode as required, and takeoff memo no blue. All right, let's prep it. Request departure.
Was a 78 Alpha Golf, ready for departure. Runway 24.
Was it 78 Alpha Golf, hold short of 24.
Alright, let's hold short. Let's prep these memory items. So, turning off the weather radar, turning on the weather radar, setting the TCAS to TARA, it's already set to above. Predictive wind shear is also on, and we just need external lights set on when we get the clearance, so we'll just wait. There's probably a plane on the runway or coming up to land. There it is. We just need to wait a little bit. No rush. Well, we kind of miss Betsy here, but she was busy today, I suppose. She's always busy when it comes to flying with us. Let's just wait for that plane to come in. Hello, Mirsha. Nice to see you. Been a while, Mirsha. How are you? I suppose you've been traveling? Good to see you again. Let's just put our flight here. I'm pretty sure this will not work at first. There it is, so let's just reboot. Let's try again. And now it works. So, little trick. So I'm just waiting for that little plane to land, taking his sweet time to do so. So don't worry, we're not going to do this entire flight, we're going to jump ahead, so we don't take that long. See the plane landing. It's always cool to see, to do some plane spotting while in the cockpit, right? It's the best way to do it, by the way. I've done a few times, it's really cool. Because you can hear the pilot's, oh, another whizzer. You can hear the pilot's comments on the landing, so it's always cool.
Was it 78 Alpha Golf, runway 24, line up and wait.
Line up and wait.
Line up and wait. Runway 24 was a 78 Alpha Golf.
So memory items.
Was Malta 6 November, exit left at Delta.
Exit left at Delta, with Malta 6 November.
There goes our landing lights, so we can move ahead. So we're not authorized to take off just yet, just line up.
Hotel Echo, holding short, runway 24.
We got a Chen X, so a Jet 2 airplane on ours. Coming up on over. We got clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff was a 78 Alpha Golf.
So takeoff no blue. We got everything going. Let's run the chrono. Let's go.
Hotel Echo, hold short of 24 departing traffic.
Affirm, hold short of 24 for traffic. Channel 3 Hotel Echo.
Oh, here we go. Now we set flex, so I'm just still having some issues here. So flex 48, climb, nav, armed, SRS runway, V1, rotate. Positive rate, gear up.
Tower, 85 Fort Arms, William, IL3
thrust lever set to climb. Climb armed. Sorry, climb set nav alt armed.
Park radar, reserve 78 Alpha Golf. Good evening, 2,700 feet.
Speed check, flaps up.
Climb to flight level 160, reserve 78
160. Autopilot 1 set. 160. Oops. 160 set. So we gotta turn like an S turn. After takeoff checklist. Gear has been retracted, flaps retracted, spoilers disarmed, thrust set to climb, autopilot as required, nose wheel lights set off, runway turn off, lights off, after takeoff checklist complete. So apparently the guys at FS Labs really heard my complaints from the last flight, and now the panel disconnect does disconnect when we're heading throttle, which is good. So passing transition altitude, set altimeter to standard, and cross-check. So we're keeping up the constraint. We're a little fast for that constraint, so not sure why it's having trouble to keep the constraint to 250 knots. So we can see the temperature is still below 10, so we keep the engine anti-ice until we reach some higher altitudes. Let's go back here to flight plan as well as here. So since I'm flying solo, I can do it, but it is a good practice to look outside, because that's usually the job of the pilot not flying. Sorry, the pilot flying is to look outside and fly the plane, and the pilot not flying should be monitoring instruments. But yeah, we don't have that luxury here. Flying solo. I am with you guys, but I am flying solo. So I'm going to turn off my track IR so I don't move my head around. How was your trip, Misha? Freezing cold weather? Where have you been? Where have you been? Let's take a good look outside, because it is a beautiful livery. Stand by. Let me turn track IR on. There it is. Beautiful Wizz Air livery. We still have our external lights on, passing 10,000 feet. Speaking of exactly that, turn on external lights off. Climb checklist, barrow set, transition altitude set, standard set, anti-ice as required, FEs as required, weather radar as required, above 10,000, landing lights off, wing lights, let's keep it on. I don't know why some companies turn it off, because it's really cool for the passengers to see the engines. I mean, it's a beautiful livery, but not only that, and when we turn off the engines, I mean, it's cool to see the outside, but I think it's actually cool to have like a reference for the engines. And not only that, but since we are taking off from a particularly cold origin, it's cool to have the wing lights just in case we get ice forming on the wings, which we shouldn't, because we don't have any significant rain or mist or anything of the sort, and the temperature is above freezing. So
Contact Prague Center 118.27.
it is a nice turn here we're doing.
Prague Center was a 78
So
Alpha Golf.
probably going to get the higher altitude, maybe our cruise altitude.
Was a 78 Alpha Golf, Prague
Yep.
Center, good evening, identified, climb to flight level 320.
320.
Climb to flight level 320 was a 78 Alpha Golf.
Alright. So really nice turn here. We did like a nest turn to go all the way to Ball 2. It's part of our departure, as you can see here. So this is what we've done. This little S turn. This is the 5 Alpha we're following, and we also on the same chart can follow 7 Delta and 8 Echo. These are RNAV departures. So we'll be using the Prague VOR, Oscar Kilo Lima, and the airplane will calculate the distances. So you see 9.0. These are not actual physical waypoints. These are DME distances. So at 9.0 nautical miles from OKL, there's a right turn, and then at 11.8 there's a left turn to these courses. So 240, 321, 247. This is an RNAV departure. There's also an RNAV approaches following pretty much the same standards, just DME distances from the nearest VOR or the program VOR. After we reach Ball 2, this SID, Standard Instrument Departure, is concluded and we will resume our own flight. But since we don't have any little plane to follow our flight plan here, which is a shame, most other add-ons have it, we're going to just sit to Navigraph charts, and we have to reset our EFB just like we did with the Copilot. And now we should have our flight plan. There it is. And a little bird, little chevron. This is a cool map because it also has weather if we turn this little bug here. So basically it will tell me significant weather. Now it's not really that accurate, but it's better than nothing. Chicago, Cincinnati, and New York. Nice. Yeah, they were always really bad. I think you caught the United States in the bad weather. I mean, we all have bad weather also in Europe, but I think they got the big blunt of cold weather back there. Still have it, I suppose. Slight turn to the right to intercept the exit from Ball 2, and now we can turn off our engine anti-ice. So reason for that is we just use that during below 10 degrees as a precaution, but if there's no icing, and we do have our little ice indicator over there, you can turn it off for you guys to see better. This little thing here, and there's no ice forming, so we can turn off the engine anti-ice. Not only will that save on engine thrust, because it does use hot air from the engine to run through the nacelles to heat it up. It's not required. And if there is ice for some reason, as the manual says, the Airbus manual, you do not want big chunks of ice to be dislodged and just hit the engine. So, but it's not happening. We don't have any freezing temperatures whatsoever. Yeah, I bet, Nisha. I bet.
Expect Pivot 1 Victor, runway 28, Magic Sun 5 Whiskey Whiskey.
So looking into our flight plan now.
November, flight level 194.
French Post 2 Uniform November.
We
Contact.
we can have a look at our weather at destination at Madeira, which is going to give us some estimation of the time. By the time we get there, some estimation of the weather we're expecting. So how do we do that? So we have two options. We can ask the plane, or in this case ask ACARS, not the plane, to give us that info, and we just go here to the AOC and we press LPMA, which is Madeira, get the METAR. Both the SIGMET and the forecast I don't think are working, but we can press them. I don't think they're working. So we just requested, and now we're gonna check the response here on the ACARS system. There it is. So this is one way, and always make sure, like I always say, always make sure to look at your Zulu time and confirm your METAR Zulu time, because sometimes these systems are off. For some reason are very off, and they will have old METARs, but this is the current one. It's been issued 14 minutes ago. So the wind is at 360 at 4 knots, and it's variable between 330 and 030, so pretty much both runways could be available. Visibility is KVOC, so visibility is okay. Ceiling and visibility is okay. Scattered at 1,400 feet. The wind set, the cloud set. The temperature is 170.13 QNH 1021. So we will monitor this because, you know, things change. This is one way to do it, and it's pretty okay, but there's a better way in my opinion. We just go here, Simbrief dispatch, and we go to WX. Of course, you need to have Simbrief set up. So we populate with the last flight, which should be this one we're flying right now, and search. And there we got weather for Prague. We got weather for Madeira, and we even have the alternate, which is Gran Canaria, right there. So just in case we need to divert. And there we go. So looks pretty much the same, as you can see. It is the same METAR. Sometimes the variations are just because of time. So if there's significant changes in weather, most likely the METAR will be updated every quarter hour. And sometimes these METARs from systems, depending on the systems, will only be updated hourly. Sometimes it's 15 minutes between METARs if it's really significant. Other times it's half an hour, but most likely it will always be 1 hour standard. But it's cool to see via the WX feature on Simbrief integration into Flight Simulator, because you get this, you get the METARs, you get also the TAF. So these are predictions, which is always cool to see if the weather is going to change anytime soon. So for example, for today, we got here the between so this is the temporary weather. So between 1800 hours of 23rd of February to the 1800 hours of 24th of February, the winds are going to become variable, 5 knots, few clouds of 1,500, probability of 30%. So temporarily between 1800 hours from the February 23 to 9 o'clock in February 24, the visibility will be reduced to 5,000 due to haze. So there's a probability when we get there that the haze will start forming after 1800 hours. So this TAF applies to us, and it's good to know this, because there's no haze indication right here, but there is an haze prediction coming up on the TAF. This is good. As for the rest of the info, we got NOTAMs, So turbulence and wind shear detection system mad winds under trial. So we saw this today at Madeira. They were testing the LiDAR system and they were asking aircraft if there was significant weather on final. So it is all pilots are requested to report this. This is actually happening in real life. Of course, this will not happen in the simulation. So yeah, another cool indication is that currently in Madeira there's no 100LL fuel available. Not sure if this is like, I mean, I know aircraft take Jet A1 fuel, but no, you don't have to load. They are preloaded. I'm going to show you. So just in case you have your flight plan available. So just in case you need to divert, you're going to see, I'm going to go all the way down here. It's a big flight plan today. Telmo, Litro. Alright, so this is this continuity right here, which is for me to insert data. Oh, let's go to Germany now. So it's for me to insert the data for destination. But look at this, if I carry on going in the flight plan discontinuity, and here is the alternate. Alright, there are actually there are multiple this is the route for the alternate, and if we go down here, this is the flight plan again. So yeah, this is the alternate airport. So it's already inserted with the flight plan to it, except for the approach. So if I want to go to the alternate, I can easily activate it here, and just where's blue becomes active. Or I can do this, I go to secondary flight plan, copy the active one, and I can just edit the current flight plan without editing the actual flight plan, just a copy of it, if I so want to. But if I don't want to, I can just easily go down here, like I showed you. The green is the active flight plan. So let's say if I go to my top of descent and they tell me that Madeira is closed out, well, I can just go down here, remove the discontinuity, remove the discontinuity, and just press this Gazga up, and I will have the direct flight plan towards Gran Canaria, which is my alternate airport, which is pretty cool. Of course, I would have to do this pretty quick, and currently Beyond ATC doesn't accept alternates, so you might as well just go to your destination, otherwise your ATC will stop working for you, because it's not designed yet for emergencies and alternates. For example, we cannot squawk 7700 and request an emergency. We won't get a response from our ATC. They actually advise us never to do that because it will mess up their system. And you can actually be banned from the network, which is something I found amusing. They saying that publicly, but they did say it. If you do squawk let's turn off this seatbelts for our passengers. If you do squawk 7700 while using Beyond ATC once or twice, maybe per accident, they will warn you, but if you carry on doing it, they will expel you from the network, which is amusing in my opinion, because I'm paying to use this, so this is a paid software. It's not like I got it for free. And they're telling me that they can deny me my service even though I paid for it. But well, whatever. I understand why they say it. Maybe they were exaggerating to dissuade people, but still I find it real weird that they would say such a thing. They actually said the word ban. They did say it. If you ever squawk 7700, and you will be advised, you will be warned not to do it, and if you repeat it, you will get banned. I guess dissidents are not welcome in any way, but still.
Logan radar, Lufthansa 7 Mike, flight level 3190.
Lufthansa 7 Mike, low on the end radar, radar contact. 0 Eurowings 2 Alpha Echo, long and radar, expect no-go tree for power, runway 23.
Expect no-go tree for power, runway 23, Eurowings 2 Alpha Echo. Long and radar, Tranix 3 Hotel Echo, flight level 380.
No problem, Misha. Anytime.
Tranix 3 Hotel Echo, long and radar, radar contact.
Yeah, that's the word they use, Misha. I find it a little bit harsh as well, but this was actually a discussion we were having on Discord. Someone asked if they were emergency simulated. I already knew it, they weren't. But someone went ahead and said, what if we squawk 7700? What if we call a pan? What if we call a mayday? What happens because remember, this is AI, this is not pre-recorded. This is AI, it's reacting to our inputs in real time. I sometimes
Traffic.
Whoop.
Radar vectors, ILS runway 14, report ready for descent.
So that's a weird traffic warning because it's way off. It's very far away.
Climb.
Well, there it goes. It's automatically climbing. So this is the automatic TCAS alert system. So it detected an aircraft's possible collision and it started its safety climb, and the airplane should start a safety descent, the other one. I guess we were in collision, but I mean, the plane just crossed our flight path and it should be clear
of conflict.
and now the plane will return to the assigned altitude, hopefully. And as you saw, he did it all of it automatically. Of course the pilots can take over. That was a scary moment. It's cool to see that it works, right? But I already made a video about TCAS. And look at that. I did not touch anything. It just did that on its own. By the way, TCAS warnings are mandatory. Doesn't matter what the ATC will tell you. If they tell you to climb, descend, doesn't matter. What TCAS tells you is what you should do. And if ATC comes around saying, hey, you weren't authorized to climb or descend, doesn't matter. TCAS is always mandatory. In fact, if your range is at 160 or 80 knots, 80 miles, there will be a warning on the ND saying reduce range, so you can go to 20 or 10. So you can see these dots here. This is our like, oh crap, limitation. So you see here it's 5 nautical miles, 7.5 nautical miles. So this is more or less 2.5 nautical miles. If the plane comes inside this half circle here, it's a oh crap moment. And it's a 360 system, by the way, so it's gonna circle around your plane. You see there 2.5, so this is your immediate proximity, and as you saw there, if it comes into within the, I believe it's the 5 nautical miles, it will start automatically responding. If not, you will see that on your vertical speed here you will have like the escape path, so it will tell you to either descend or climb, and you will have like a red band here. That's telling you that you should move towards whatever it tells you. So it tells you to climb, you should see a red band up, and then the green sector here saying this is the safety climb that you should perform. So it's pretty cool. And some planes have this automatic response from the autopilot. I'm not sure if real life planes all have it. Yeah, I believe it's a feature, like what do you say, an option if you want for your airline. But I'm pretty sure not all add-ons for Flight Simulator have this. Sometimes you'll get the TCAS warning and you said climb. If you don't touch anything, the plane will not climb for you. Since this is a beyond ATC generated traffic, I'm pretty sure this was like I wouldn't say a glitch, but it was just the system giving you some traffic around you, and that plane should never ever cross our path in a controlled environment. But of course errors do happen, and that's why we have TCAS. And TCAS stands for Traffic Collision and Avoidance System, and it's mandatory and standard for all commercial aircraft. And I think that all military aircraft that fly in commercial lanes also are, it's also mandatory for them. They do have transponders. All airplanes that fly in controlled airspace need transponders, but I'm not sure if TCAS is mandatory for military. I'm almost sure if they fly in commercial lanes, so in commercial airways, they do need to have TCAS on their aircraft, but I'm not sure about that. Commercial ones, yes. Military, not so sure. But even without TCAS, let's say I have TCAS but the inbound traffic does not, it doesn't matter. My plane will always give me an advisory, either climb or descend. The other plane will not, but my plane will get it. And the clearance is pretty much mandatory. So, by the way, how do you guys like the new upper bar? So I did a little tweaking, designed it myself based on the Airbus A320 cockpit or panel, and I think it has good reading. I can see all the letters correctly, and it kind of simulates the Airbus A320 or A320, well, the Airbus family FCU. So I always have mine a little bit too bright, but usually you should get it something like this. And I think, yeah, maybe I could lit up the yellow part, but I think you guys would agree that the way it is, it's fine. It's more readable. It's too yellow here on the background. So I hope you guys enjoy it. This took me a while to build. Actually had to build the glare shield from scratch, the little blue-black background, and then the little windows, and then add the numbers. The digits are dynamic, so they will change as you can see, the altitudes, the headings, and all that. And yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. I may change the little letters up here, so you can see it's got the departure and destination. I think I will change it a little bit because I see it's cutting out slightly the departure. Not too bad. And then the blue bar, this is an issue here. This is a bug. It shouldn't be this dark blue. It should be a brighter blue. Maybe I messed up the colors, but it will still give you the information you seek. But it looks good. I like it. I like it a lot. It took me a while to design it. Previously I was using templates for my home screens and my welcome screens, and also the little status bar, but no, I decided to do it my own. In fact, for those that didn't see it in the beginning, I can show you my Be Right Back panel real quick. Here it is. Don't get scared. So yeah, that's the A350, my favorite all-time plane, and yeah, some little deco here for you guys to appreciate. Back to game. So like I promised, I will not perform the 4-hour flight to Madeira, I will jump ahead in a moment, so we will reduce the time and the distance. I will probably teleport us all the way to the Portuguese coast. That will give us enough time to prepare for our descent and landing in Madeira. But give me some time to prep that, and I'm going to need you to give me a couple of minutes. I'll be right back.
Radar 125.1 Chanix 3 Hotel Echo.
Lufthansa 2446, contact Bremen radar 125.8.
Center on 125.8 Lufthansa 2446.
London radar, Lufthansa 9 Papa Kilo, flight level 340.
Lufthansa 9 Papa Kilo, long and radar contact.
It's my favorite airplane, Mirsha. I need to do some more flights in the 350. Actually, today I was going to make the flight in the 350, maybe the 350 or the 340 to Madeira, but I decided to go with the FS Labs because it's a long flight. It's 4 hours flight, and I want to jump ahead. And the only plane that has that feature is the FS Labs, so that's why I picked it for this particularly long flight. I just don't want to take this too long. To make a 4-hour flight in YouTube on YouTube is just too much. At least for me it is. I don't know if you guys have the patience for that. I certainly don't have the patience to fly that long. I used to, but not anymore. I used to make transcontinental flights, no joke. But I decided that was a long time ago, and I decided never to do that again. So again, a little break. I'll be right back, and I'll show you the cabin, which for you guys, some of you will be first time. So I'll show you the cabin in a moment.
0.955.
Contact Zurich approach 125.955, Swiss 6 Yankee Lima.
Lufthansa 2088, long and radar, expect no-go tree for power, runway 23.
Expect no-go tree for power, runway 23, Lufthansa 2088.
Durham T5 Uniform Victor, Navny 2 X-ray, runway 04, report ready for descent.
Navny 2 X-ray, runway 04, ready for descent, Durham T5 Uniform Victor.
Durham T5 Uniform Victor, descend to flight level 120.
Descent to flight level 120, Durham T5 Uniform Victor.
Durham T5 Uniform Victor, contact Munich radar 120.65.
Centrum 120.65, Durham T5 Uniform Victor.
Lufthansa 2088, no-go tree for power, runway 23, report ready for descent.
No-go tree for power, runway 23, ready for descent, Lufthansa 2088.
Lufthansa 2088, descend to flight level 110.
Descent to flight level 110, Lufthansa 2088.
Lufthansa 2088, contact Bremen radar 125.8.
Contact Bremen radar 125.8, Lufthansa 2088.
150, contact me at radar 120.65.
Center on 120.65 Magics and then 50. Bye-bye.
And I'm back. So we're going to prepare our jump ahead. So I'm just going to check something because I believe this is not my final altitude. Yep. So I'm supposed to get to flight level 330. So this is an odd number. So I'm probably not going to get it. But I should be getting to flight level 330 at Minso. This is what we call a step climb, and sometimes we need to go up, sometimes you need to go down. So at that go, I should go to flight level 310, but I believe I passed that. Yeah. So that's behind me. Yeah, that's it. So now at flight level 330 should be at Minso. And I believe that's going to be down the line. Let's see, where is Minso? There it is. So that should happen in about 1 hour and an hour and a half. But I'm not going to step climb to it then, because again it's an odd number and then ATC will not give it to me. Beyond ATC sticks with whatever either even or odd numbers we're flying currently. So I got some weather forming up ahead, nothing too serious. So as you can see, got a nose wind of 83 knots. Well, nose-ish. It's coming like 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. But it's really pushing us to the side and back, so we are not getting the performance we would like. So if we go to our weather charts and we can see if there's better weather up there, then maybe we can request a higher altitude, for example. Where are the charts? There they are. So we can request. So these charts are quite handy, but as you can see, this is our cruise here. So we if we request, so this is we're coming from the right to the left. So as you can see, we got winds. The winds are coming always nose, and if we go up above our assigned altitude of flight level 330, the winds aren't much better, as you can see there. So 60 knots, 60 knots, 60 knots, and it's actually right now it's actually worse, but we are not seeing any improvements by going in upper altitudes. Going below those assigned altitudes like flight level 250, yeah, the winds are slightly better. We're still coming in the same direction, so we're still going to get nose wind, a little less, a little weaker, but still coming from the nose. So there's no advantage in this. We will get some slight help here, I believe, off the coast of Portugal, but not by much. So yeah, there's no point in requesting a climb. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go look into our flight plan, and we're gonna check out the waypoints here. So I can make a jump to any point, any of these points really, but I need to make a jump to, oh, that was an abrupt change. It's making a turn, but apparently the wind isn't helping much, so the plane's struggling slightly. Alright, so I think I'm going to make my jump to either not Lidro, because I need to prepare for the descent. So before Lydro, somewhere in the vicinity of Pecky, or even before that, because I don't know which approach I'm going to take anyway. So PVAP should be my jump ahead, program jump ahead. So let's do that. So going to the McDo menu, we're going for jump ahead option, and now we're going to pick that up, which is PVAP. Yeah, PVAP. So let's go down here. So let's Becky. Just before that, Busen, Elvar. Oh, it's actually after that. So Lydro is the last one. Telmu, Viram, Elvar. Maybe it's not inserted in our flight plan. So what do we have before? We got Becky and the top of descent after Becky. So we're going to go for Telmu, not Timo, Telmu. Where's Telmu? It's weird, it's not this particular point. Oh, there it is. So it's just one before PVAP. So PVAP may not be inserted in the flight plan. It's Becky. So it's the next one, I believe. Yeah, Becky. So the only one, the one I picked is the only one that's not in our flight plan. It's all right. We can go to Telmu. So let's go to Telmu. And now, oh, sorry. So again, McDo menu. Let's pick the Telmu waypoint now correctly. And this will effectively just teleport us. We're going to stay in flight level 320, speed 0.76 Mach, with 6 tons of fuel on board, at the time 23:52. So currently Zulu time is 20:51, and it's going to make our jump 3 hours ahead, which is amazing. But as we've done in the past, you will notice the plane will struggle a little bit to reacquire the flight plan. What the plane does, what Flight Sim Labs does do, or plan to do, is the plane will freeze, like using, it will teleport first to the destination, and then it will freeze the controls, and it will have like a 10-second, maybe less, time or timer, in order for the plane and autopilot to find a course and correct itself, blah blah blah. During that period of time, it's very important that you pay good attention at what's going on, because sometimes the autopilot can be disconnected, especially if there's a huge change in the winds. So be careful with that. But the jump ahead is quite safe. It reduces your flight time. You can make very, very long flights. It will preserve flight time on the plane, maybe not on the flight simulator logbook, but I don't use that. But it will certainly add the 3 hours here. So instead of 1 hour and 6, you will see 4 hours and 6, maybe a bit more because it's more than that. It will also shift your Zulu time and will shift your chronometer. The only thing will not shift, of course, is because it cannot predict the future, are the METARs and the weather systems, because that's real time. But you know, the METARs will be like outdated because we will be at 23:53, and the METARs will be from 2030 or something. But that's the only thing. And since the weather is current, there will be no issue. It's just the snapshot of the current weather. So let's do that. We're gonna press. So we selected Telmu. Let me zoom in. We selected Telmu first. It goes green. It tells us where we will be at what time and what fuel we'll have on board, what speed. We'll press jump ahead once. It will ask us confirm or cancel, and we'll just jump ahead by pressing confirm jump. Now let's zoom out a little bit, because I don't know what's going to happen. Sometimes the plane sticks correctly to the route, sometimes it doesn't. So we'll be ready to grab it if something happens. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's just wait for the beyond ATC to respond here.
Turn right, heading
because that's the other thing. Beyond ATC will suddenly lose us and will ask us to shift with different ATC zone. So in order not to confuse it too much, we'll just wait for a moment when it's not speaking.
Contact you at radar 126.
So it's shifting us to Zurich. Just wait for it to announce in frequency. And when we jump ahead, it's going to ask us to switch to Lisbon approach. Check it out. To Lisbon control. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Alright. See? The plane just shifted. It's frozen. Now it's gathered. Now check it out. Hey, autopilot disconnected. It's perfectly fine. Alright.
Traffic.
Alright, it's going down. Don't worry about the traffic warnings, there's no traffic here. It's just the plane's just confused because we suddenly went from one point to another instantly. And we got a little up. We went a little above the assigned altitude. Alright, so now we're going to need to be quick. So let's go to our flight plan. And we're just going to prep this in a real moment, but let's go to performance. And now let's go for our METAR information. Shouldn't change much, but let's refresh data. See, the other thing, I prefer to use the Simbrief weather tablet because I can put it right next to my CDU and just insert the data. So QNH 1021. And we got our outside temperatures 17. Our wind is 304 knots. And now, as for the approach itself, we're gonna have to wait, but I believe we're gonna get the RNAV to runway 05, because that's what's briefed in our, not the checklist, sorry, in our flight plan here. So flight log, actually routing, yeah, we got the Lidro 1 Papa to runway 05. So I'm going to insert that, even though it might change. So arrival for probably the RNAV Zulu runway 05, which is the one I prefer anyway, via the Lidro 1 Papa. There it is. And the transition will always via Pilim. There's no other transition, so it's cool. So temporary insert, and we are prepped for descent. Now let's see what ATC gives us. By the way, if you don't believe me that we just teleported ourselves 4 hours ahead, let's go back to the map and you'll see where we are. So when we teleported, we were somewhere in Germany and we jumped all the way down here. And by the way, you can see the approach here for runway 05 coming out of Lidro 1 Papa, which is an RNAV approach. That's why it's not connected to the runway. It's not like Madeira has an ILS. But yeah, let's go back to our charts. So we're going to pick the pre-selected charts, which is Lidro right here. Come on, show me Lidro. There it is. So we're coming down here all the way to Pilim. Every single approach to Madeira that comes from the north area or the northeast, northwest, almost always will go through Pilim. Almost always. This is like the nervous center point for all approaches to Madeira. Except, of course, if you come from the south, I believe they don't necessarily go to Pilim, whatever. But I'm almost sure they do, because it's like the initial point for either runway 23 or 05. I'm pretty sure every single approach. We can actually look at that. So let's see, stars. We got Lidro goes to Pilim. This one is let's Let's zoom in. This is ECNOT 1 Papa. It goes to Pilem. IBAN Pilem. Demso Pilem. Well, actually no, it doesn't go to Pilem. I found one doesn't go to Pilem. I was joking. Yeah, there was one MA654, which is a DME from Funchal VOR, and Big P also goes through VOR, because these are VOR approaches, I believe, and these are contingencies for some contingency. Not sure why. Contingency arrivals. All right. But this one's from the south, this one's from the north, but the usual ones are Litru and Raccoon 1 Papa. Oh, they both go to Pilem. ECNOT and Needle 1 Papa and 2 Romeo. These are RNAV. All these are RNAV approaches, and they all goes to Pilem, because that's where then goes to the approach for runway 05, which is almost always, all the time, either a RNP approach or RNP Zulu, which is the one I picked, which I hope they give us, because it's the one that has the charted approaches. This RNP approach relies on a visual approach. It's sometimes planes do this approach because it's closer to the airfield, and you can see the airfield clearer, and you know, tourists like to see the island. But this one, in my humble opinion, is the safest one, the RNP Zulu, because it does give you a good chunk of distance. It gives you a wide turn, and it looks like, yeah, it is a good feature, isn't it, Marsha? we just took out 3 hours of flight, and the plane behaves as expected. It burned the fuel, burned the time. You can see there it's 4 hours and 12 minutes of flight. Well, this is 4 hours and 12 minutes out of the gate, 3 hours and 56 minutes of flight. That's not exactly what we did. We just jumped ahead, and like some good friend of mine said, if the feature is there, just use it. Why not? So you saw my precaution to teleport to a point farther away, because you saw there's a lot of work to be done. Now, if I'm going to choose the RNAV Zulu, I also need to choose the minimum approach altitude. So minimum approach altitude should be somewhere around 1,500 feet at MA520. Let's confirm if that 1,200 feet. So at MA522 right here, we should be at 2,000 feet, and that's mandatory. Look at that, that's mandatory. You cannot go below 2,000 feet during the downwind phase. But once you start turning, then you start descending, and your decision altitude based on an RNP approach, which is the one we have right here. So ALS, automatic landing system, is set. So we got the 500 for Class C aircraft. This is the one we're seeing. So it's Class A, Class B, C, and Class D. We're going for the Class BC with a cool RVR of 1,500 meters, which I believe is the one we got today. So we got 520 feet of decision altitude. So that will be reached somewhere between MH504 and MA504 and MA502. So somewhere between this point and this point, right about here in the middle of the turn, we will get the decision height. If we got the runway, we carry on. If we do not have the runway, we go around. And when I say we got it, it means that at 520 feet, if we don't have visual with the runway for some reason, or if we're too high or too low, which we should be monitoring these altitudes in our chart, we should go around. And the go around procedure is always the same. You proceed through the go around procedure to Monarch. However, Beyond ATC ignores the go-around procedures, unfortunately, and it will give us radar vectors, which isn't perfect, but we are hoping to land at first approach, so we're not really bothered with it. By the way, just showing you the the alpha approach, the visual approach. So you see, come out of Funchal at course 219er, and at 7.9 nautical miles from MA 565, you start a visual approach and turn with visual references. One of which is Gelo, and the other one is Rosario. So this is the Ice Factory and Rosario, and that's the lineup. But let's try not to do that, because it tends to be a little eclectic, especially at night. So RMP is good enough. It actually gives us a little bit of automation, you will see. And this is the one we actually want. Oh my god. So they're rerouting us, that's not good. Ah. Runway 23. Oh, so we're not going to make that beautiful approach. Alright, accepted. So it means the wind changed. So we're going for the RNAV, probably. So we're still going for Lidrip. We're just going to need to pick runway 23. Wow, that's a shame. RNAV 23 via pylon. That's a shame. So yeah, so need to go and remove all these pins and go for the RNAV for runway 23. So this is what you get sometimes, especially with changing winds or variable winds. Sometimes you're planning your approach and everything looks fine and dandy for that specific approach, but these the winds will kind of not this one. The winds will kind of change your plans. So runway 23 is actually much less demanding as an approach, because it's a straight-in approach out of pylon, just to direct descent. Come on, give me the pen for that. Ah, there it is. So yeah, these are all the approaches for runway 23. So I'm expecting it to be. So this is the Bravo. This is the one not the one I picked. This is the one I picked. So direct approach out of Pelim all the way down to runway 23. Not as exciting, but still demanding if you're not paying good attention. So yeah, so they did a reroute for us. Thanks for nothing, Madeira approach. It's not their fault. It's just the wind changing. Look at that, the wind changed from 78 knots or 80 knots to 17, but still on the nose, still pushing us back. By the way, just checking in for my performance now, because I need to change the decision height. I didn't actually fill it in, which is good. So if we do go for the direct RNAV approach, our decision height is 490 feet. Come on guys, don't rush things. Alright, let's call the passengers back to their seats now. Descent checklist. McDo landing performance has been reviewed. TCAS set for below. Not due to turbulence, Norman. It's just a descent. Navids have been reviewed. NTIs will not be required. The external temperature in Madeira is quite warm. We got constraints set up. There it is. And barrel reference, well, this is above the line, so descent checklist above the line complete. Let's start our descent. Call ready for descent.
Is a 78 Alpha Golf ready for descent?
Is a 78 Alpha Golf, descend to 5,000 feet, QNH 102.
Descend to 5,000 feet.
Alright, we're going straight to the descent, 5,000 feet. And let's call it managed for now. Yeah, runway 23, Mirsha, can you believe that? They just changed it. Well, the wind is variable. But yeah, let's check the latest meter to really confirm this wind. So this is Prague and 300 at 4. Yeah, it's not really for runway 23, is it? But yeah, I mean, it's alright. It's only 4 knots, probably a slight tailwind. We'll see. It's actually realistic because in Madeira the runways are always changing. But so the wind's coming from the northwest, sorry. We should be getting 05. It's a little crossed for 05, but it's much better than 23. That's my opinion. I do love the RNAV approach to 05, so I'm a bit sad. It's more sadness than anything else. Alright, let's turn on our terrain depiction on our co-pilot there with Miss Betsy. And yeah, now it's just a straight in descent. I don't think we're gonna make many direction changes all the way down to Pilot and then make a slight left turn towards runway 23, and that's it. The good news is I'm going to make a flight out of Madeira to... I'm planning, this is my planning. Things can go wrong with this kind of planning, but I'm thinking taking the A340 out of Madeira. Why am I saying I'm planning and not yet? Because I don't remember, I'm sorry about this, I don't remember if ever the A340 flew to Madeira. I know the 330 does currently. TAP Portugal flies the A330-200 as well as the 900, the NEO, but I'm not sure the 340 flew to Madeira. And that could be an issue because if there's not enough thrust for takeoff, and remember the 340 has leaf blowers as engines, so it's really subpar. If it doesn't have enough power to take off from that runway length, then we're going to have an issue. So I'm going to make a couple of tests, and if all goes well, my next flight will be the 340 out of Madeira. How about that? And I would love to do it. I know the 330 does regular flights for Lisbon out of Madeira, and they're similar in size, but the 340 engines are really bad, so not sure if that could be done. I need to test first. I will make some investigation regarding whether or not TAP Portugal did fly the 340 to Madeira or not. I have strong suspicions that it did not, but I'll confirm it. It's not like the plane's still flying for us to have an estimate. And if it did fly, will our A340 currently that we have from Unibuilds be capable of taking off from runway 05 or runway 23? We'll see. So our altimeter is 1021, and we need to perform the descent checklist below the line. Yeah, I'm hoping, Mircha, and I'm taking the TAP Portugal one if it does indeed fly out of there. I think of runway length, I think it's pretty much in the limits, within limits, but I'm not sure. So I need to do some testing before I commit to that. But if it does happen, we will have a beautiful flight. 340 TAP Portugal colors out of Madeira, quite nostalgic. I'm really looking forward for Unibuilds L1011. They are building the TriStar, the venerable TriStar. That was the one of the most beautiful planes I've I've known aside from the 350. So my top list is the 350, the L1011, and the Boeing 747. These are my top 3 planes, the most beautiful, most venerable planes. And I do have a thing for wide bodies, even though I fly narrow bodies most of the times. But that's due to time contingency, but I do love the wide bodies. I also like the 777. It's like number 4, more or less. And I would have to say that 320's family, though the entire 320 family, will come number 5. And then the Boeing 737. I have a sweet spot for the 37 because it was the plane I probably have most flight hours. Is a 737-400 ever of all time. And more recently, I've squeezed in the venerable MD-11. I do like that plane a lot. A lot of automations. I need to make more flights on that plane. Unfortunately, is a bit complicated to fly with, and yeah. But the L1011 from Mini-Builds, that will be, I wouldn't say a day one purchase because I don't swim in money. Unfortunately, it's not like I'm a millionaire flying planes or else. But I would love to buy the L1011 at some point and fly with you guys. I do love flying the tri-engines of the MD-11, so that will be just yet another tri-jet. And no, I will not. I'm tempted, but I will not get any older planes like the 727. I'm waiting for the 757 because I know my good friend Andrew would love to fly it and love to see me flying it as well. But that's about as old as I'll go, because old planes like the 727, the 707, I flew those planes for a while, even the Concorde, so like a old-time classic. It requires a bigger crew. It requires a crew of 3. Now if I fly solo on these planes, can you imagine me flying on a plane that requires a 3-member crew? It's nuts. And I bow down to those guys that do it on a regular basis. I mean, I can't do that. They can do it, and they do it very well. Kudos to them. But just the engineer panel on the rear side of the cockpit, just that. Even if there's some automation out of that, you need to know how that panel works. Most modern planes have adapted every single aspect of the engineer panel into either their overhead panel or via automation via ECAM or ICAS in Boeing aircraft. So 767 Mirsha is like the 757 and the 767 is like they were very similar. They were built parallel. The 757 is a thinner, narrower version of the and with less range of the 767. 767 was like the very first twin jet wide body from Boeing, coming up on the heels of the A300 from Airbus. So the A300 was the very first real twin jet wide body. Then Boeing responded very well with the 757, the 767 family, and later on with the 777, of course. And Airbus, well, they did something called the A340 with 4 leaf blowers as engines, pretty much a A300 stretched wide body with 4 engines, but they were very weak 4 engines. And then of course they came to reason and developed the A330, which became, curiously, the A340 killer, because there was no competition whatsoever between the 340 and the Boeings. Especially when Boeing released the 777, there was no competition there. But with the 330, everything changed, and they took the lessons and they learned it well. That's Porto Santo Island right there. Zoom in there. This area here is the military aprons, where the emergency, actually it's this side here I believe, where the emergency helicopters, the EH-101 Merlins are stationed, and this is the civilian gate area. There's not much parking space on this airport. It's just very small, although the runway almost goes through the entire length of the island. As you can see, it is very small. And that's Madeira Island right there, much bigger in proportion, and the approach is of course quite challenging. You like it, Andrew? Yeah, it's my design. I didn't copy from everybody. So if you guys see anything similar to this, someone just came here and took notes. I have the Photoshop files for anybody challenging me to show them. I did not copy from anybody. And it's based on an Airbus. So you got RNAV 23 via the Pilgrim transition as expected, QNH 1021. So everything's going as expected aside from the runway change, which is good. So we are expecting the RNAV standard, could be the Alpha or the Bravo as well. There's slight changes to the approach, but we are going to get the standard one. I can show you the differences really. So the standard one will give us a direct approach course 229 out of MA 408, but if you choose, for example, the Alpha, whereas this is the Bravo, so the Bravo is not giving you direct approach. It's going to give you the initial approach only, and then you have to go in, fly in directly out of MA 562. And the Bravo and the Alpha, maybe I didn't select the Alpha as pinned. Anyway, there are slight differences. There's a visual approach out of the RNP, so this is the RNP approach out of MA 562. This is also quite linear, but instead of going straight in, we kind of make a slight turn to the left first and then turn right. But yeah, this is the one we got, and it's the best charted one. It's the most used, I believe. That and the visual approach, which we'll not do today. You can almost see Madeira Airport already, so we are coming close. So we're going to prep so passing 10,000 feet, external lights on. I forgot about that. Here we go. So you're going to see two glares to each side. That's the landing lights turning on. They take a moment to turn on because they need to deploy first. So it's like on a pivot, and then they turn on. They are already on, we just don't have any A's to lit up. There it is. We should be seeing this A's through our cockpit, but it's not there. Alright. Can we see the haze? No, we can't. So alright. I'm gonna get on my seat correctly, and I'm gonna raise this and turn on my track IR. Oh, alright. Here we go. Now it's cooking. Alright, so it's gonna zoom this here because I need this data. And now we're gonna go through the landing memo. So We're gonna set the FEs, we're gonna get the gear down, get 3 greens, the external lights set on, nose wheel lights set for takeoff, auto brakes set. We're gonna set auto brakes set to low, and spoilers set to armed. We can do that right now. And we're gonna set flaps for landing. We're gonna land with flaps 3. That's gonna pick up flaps 3. And now we're gonna go here for landing performance. So I'm gonna pick runway 23. It is dry. We're gonna set
descend to 3,000 feet, QNH1021.
Descend to 3,000 feet, QNH1021.
2,000 feet.
Alpha Golf.
She said 2,000 feet, but it is 3,000
Windsor
feet.
78 Alpha Golf, clear direct Pilum, cross Pilum at or above 3,000.
Clear for the RNAV, alright.
Nav runway 23.
Anti-ice off, air conditioning reverse all, calculate. So the VAP is 139 and we're gonna stop our plane with low. We factor it at 2007. Oh, let's get to medium then, because we don't have enough room for any hiccups. So we're gonna land at medium with, when factored in, factored landing distance is 1,803 feet. That will give us pretty close to the Bravo exit. Alright, 5,000 feet, set QNH for local, 1021. 1021 and cross-checked, set. So we are clear for the RNAV approach, so we are going to turn on our approach mode. We already have the vertical deviation, we're a bit too high. So this is what I'm going to do. We're going to set up our manual descent and we're going to increase the descent rate now. There's our lateral deviation. And we still need to recover because we're a bit too high. Come on. Let's go to 2,000 feet. I know it's too steep of a descent, but I want to get this vertical deviation correct. There it comes. Oops. What happened here? Alright, here we go. Alright, we're good to go. Now let's reduce this.
Windsor 78 Alpha Golf, contact Madeira Tal 124.66.
Contact Tower 124.66 with a 78 Alpha Golf. Bye bye. Madeira Tower with a 78 Alpha Golf. Another runway 23.
Windsor 78 Alpha Golf, Madeira Tower, wind variable.
Speed check flaps 1.
Runway 23 cleared to land.
I need to reduce speed here. Autopilot off. $2,500. Here comes on lateral deviation again. Still too fast. Speed brakes out. Yeah, this is not stable.
Terrain, terrain, pull up. Terrain, terrain, terrain.
Speed check flaps 2.
Terrain, terrain, terrain.
Gear down.
Terrain, terrain.
I know.
Terrain, 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 terrain.
Yeah, let's go around.
Terrain, 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 terrain.
I don't know why it's giving me the terrain warning.
Terrain. 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 Terrain.
On the go.
Terrain.
Published first
Terrain.
approach procedure.
Terrain.
User 78
Terrain.
Alpha
That was a mess.
Golf. Madeira approach from 1 minute 605 User 78 Alpha Golf.
But I was going too fast, I don't want to take chances.
Departure. User 78 Alpha Golf. 1,500 feet.
User 78 Alpha Golf, falling back. Continue.
Continue. User 78 Alpha Golf.
So we need to climb to 2,000 feet. Oh, speed brake's still out. At this point we should go to Monac. Let's get the gear up. I should have done that. So it's not following the missed approach for some reason. I do need radar vectors though. See, the flight director is just all messed up because it's not following the procedure here. So I'm just gonna try to re-establish the procedure by hand. Oh my, let's go back to the chart. So we need to go to Monac at 3,000 feet and I've overshot that. Stay with flaps 2. Actually, let's go with flaps 1. So I'm flying the procedure manually. I just overshot 3,000 feet. But we do need to fly to Monac and come back. Let's see if we can get that. Let's go 3,000 here. Yeah, I will measure. I was going too fast. It will be a suicide to carry on with that approach. So I'm waiting for ATC to remember me. Alright, there we go.
045. Expect further clearance in about 2-3 miles.
Turn left, heading 045 with a 78 Alpha Golf.
045. So it's giving me the radar vectors. Go back to the initial point. So we are in the haze. That's the hopefully not that haze we were dreading from the TAF. It's just probably some clouds here. So we are currently turning left right here and probably going all the way to MA410. We're gonna have to wait and see. There's the runway up, there's the approach again. And we're going to go parallel. Not sure why it didn't fly the alternate. Sorry, the so let's do this again. So no, sorry, my bad. So LPMA, so it's turning. This is odd. It's only allowing me to select Gran Canaria. That's really weird. Weird, very weird. So I'm trying to pick the landing at LPM A23 again. It's not allowing me. It's just not sure if that's a bug. If it is, it's one of those.
Air Portugal 97 Lima Sierra. Descend to 4,900.
There's Madeira Island again.
Descend to 4,100 feet to QNH1021 Air Portugal 97 Lima Sierra. Air Portugal 97 Lima Sierra. 16 miles.
Can go a little faster.
Present heading. Maintain 2,000 feet until established on the final approach course. On our runway 23. Flight present heading 2,000 feet until established. Clear down of runway 23. Air Portugal 97 Lima Sierra.
Established on what?
Wizard 78 Alpha Golf. Turn left at heading 035.
35.
Left, heading 035 was a 78 Alpha Golf.
It said until established on. Until established. Established on what? There's no ILS approach for 05 or 23. Unless it's referring to the RNAV. And it is weird because when we select the approach in RNAV, it's supposed to follow the vertical deviation as well as the lateral deviation, but the vertical deviation is supposed to. But I suppose since I was in manual descent, it went kind of crazy. Maybe I should go back to manage descent when using the RNAV approach. Here's I believe that's the airport right there. Either that or beneath the cloud, not sure. I think it's that, those red lights there, I think. So there's a plane landing right now, so we need to wait for it to clear. There's the haze. There's a plane right there landing, so it's coming in from 1,600 feet above us and descending, so we're going to need to wait for it to turn in and land, and then we can go and do the same. We're at safely at 3,000, so no big deal. I've done this approach quite a few times to runway 23 and never had an issue. Well, I did have one landing that I was too high and went manual, just like I did today, so that's probably what happened.
Contact Madeira Tower 124.66.
So we still have enough fuel. We have 5.1 tons. That's more than enough for contingencies and go to... Oh, I think so. I think I can. Let's see. Well, thank you, Andrew. I think skill isn't a word. Experience more like it, I think. So we passed our friend landing, Air Portugal So we're gonna be given the turn anytime now. And we'll start our descent afterwards. So we're basically following this, but not exactly. So we're past MA412. We're more like heading this way already, and we're a bit closer than this. So this is the missed approach procedure. Well, I'm sorry, this is the southern approach procedure. The missed approach one is the one with the dashed line. 345.
10 left, heading 345 was a 78 Alpha Golf.
We're in the soup right now, we can't see Jack. Well, the soup is still can't see anything, so it's the cloudy area. We do have some visual references right there for the approach. We'll see if we can capture that.
Weather 78 Alpha Golf, 8 miles from Mark 40810 left, heading 260, maintain 2,000 feet until established, cleared on the runway 23.
10 left, heading 260, 2,000 feet until established, cleared on the runway 23 was a 78 Alpha Golf.
Alright, there we go. Let's reduce our speed and let's turn left. I would say let's turn to initially to 290, so we're not giving a direction, just kind of a descent at your discretion, so to speak. We are descending to 2,000 feet. There's the runway.
All aircraft be advised, information Charlie now current, QNH 1021.
1021 and cross-checked. Alright, here we go. Let's turn on our approach. Oh, what is it doing? Let's turn in. What is it doing? Come on, turn. There you go. What was this plane doing just now? So we are hoping to get the lateral deviation. If not, we'll just see what it did. It just turned right and we overshot. Alright, let's get flaps 2, so we need to lower this nose. Speed check flaps 2. Right, landing checklist. Let's deploy the lights, not turn them on yet. Oh wait, we are below 10,000, so landing checklist EFIs as required, and in terrain gear, let's get the gear down. We need to control our speed a bit better than before. Let's get our V approach, which is 150 knots. Speed check flaps 3. There's the runway right there. So hopefully we get, so the spoilers need to be armed. Here we go. Some crosswind from the left side. I'm going to look at the PAPIs because I don't have RNAV approach.
78 Alpha Golf, contact Madeira Tower 124.66.
Autopilot off.
Madeira Tower 124.66 was a 78 Alpha Golf. Madeira Tower was a 078 Alpha Golf on a runway 23.
Where's 78 Alpha Golf? Madeira Tower, wind variable, runway 23 cleared to land.
Runway 23 cleared to land, was 078 Alpha Golf.
This one's for the money, guys. I don't understand why I don't have... Do we need a landing system? Probably. Nah, let's just do a visual. Bit too high. But now our speeds are much more in control. We can't use the landing system. Still a bit too high.
$1,000.
1,000 check. Slightly to the left. It's more or less a visual approach at this point. Bit too high. Do it again. Winds are calm.
100 above.
Check.
500. Minimum.
Continue. Bit too low.
400. 200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 10. 5.
Smooth. Reversers. Medium brakes, auto brakes set. Auto brakes off.
Brake off.
Exit next available taxiway, was 078 Alpha Golf.
Nice. Alright, runway exit procedures.
Was 078 Alpha Golf, request taxi to allocated gate.
Wizard 78 Alpha Golf, ramp Alpha 11 taxi via Alpha.
Alright.
Ramp Alpha 11 via Alpha, was 078 Alpha Golf.
Turn on our APO.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However, we ask that you remain seated until the...
So we're going for Alpha 11.
switched off. Portable electronic devices for messaging, calls or internet access may...
Start APO. After landing checklist. Landing lights off. Nose wheel lights set. Taxi flaps are up. Spoilers retracted, disarm, weather radar is off, predictive wind shear is off, TCAS set off. Terrain set off. APU is turned on, starting up. Wing NTIs, engine NTIs not required. So we're Alpha 9er. Alpha 10. And that's 11, that's us. I don't think GSX selected that stand. Let's take a look. Oh, there it is. Main apron. Yes. Main apron. Stand Alpha 11. Request follow me, no. And it's gonna be Menzies. Yeah, there's a Marshall. So let's go. Alpha 10. APU is available. Let's go for APU lead. Turning in. There's our Marshall. I need to slow down. Come on, guide me in, gentlemen. Slow. We don't need this anymore. And there it goes. Are we good? Yep. Ah, it's glitching. Parking brake set. Engine 1, engine 2. Alright. Waiting for... Oh, look at that. These are new animation. These guys operating the stairs. Never seen those before. Hey man, get back to work, buddy. Whoa, he's dancing. Look at that. Do we have a perfect parking? Why is the guy dancing there? Get back to work, buddy. Get. That's fun. Alright, we don't have APU available, so we're gonna with GPU, I mean. Let's call in the max to get these guys to work. Yeah, get back to work, buddy. You too. Alright, we got APU power. GPU, I mean. We can turn off our APU. Alright, let's go for the parking checklist. Parking brake is set, nav 8's set to off. FCU reset, we'll do that in a moment. Flight director 1 and 2 off. It wasn't that much of a help today. Arc 10 and Arc 10 constraints off. NTI's not turned on. Engine master switch is both on. Fuel pumps off. Beacon to off. Wing lights to off. Seatbelt signs to off. External power is on. Transponder to off. And cockpit door to open. Let's see. Are the passengers moving out? They're not yet, because the stairs are only now being operated. These guys are not that fast. But these animations are cool. They're brand new. I've never seen these guys. These stairs used to operate like a ghost, like remote control or something. And it's really cool because now you have these no like blockages. That's nice. Let's get out of our seat and let's get out there. Ah, look at that. This is cool. This is brand new. I've never seen this. The other guy is the dancing guy. And he's gonna pull it in. Nice. It's clipping through the plane, but that's alright. And now what's you gonna do? That's it, buddy. Oh, he needs to wait for the other dude. Look at that, he's listening to his radio. What's that station? Station 22. My favorite, all-time rock. Alright, is it done?
Passenger's bus is coming.
Yeah, but the door's still closed. Hey buddy, the door's still closed. Here comes the loaders. Oh, the door is just open. Alright, nice. This is the sound of the cargo doors opening. It's really cool. Shame that we can't interact with these doors. I mean, it's just eye candy stuff, but it's other add-ons let us do that. None of these planes are interactive in the FS Labs. There's the bus. I actually picked Menzies, but they brought in the Portway bus. People don't want to board. They were loving the flight so much. Hello.
Passengers boarding started.
Alright. And we got the safety line. It's cool. Like I said, nobody's wanting to board or deboard. Oh, there's a stewardess or flight attendant. Come on, guys. Get out of my plane. I can see people moving inside. There you go. There you go. And you got back to sitting, right? Not much to do, is there, buddy? Alright guys, that was our flight for today. Welcome to Madeira. There it is. Airport of Funchal in Madeira. The landing didn't go as planned. They changed that last minute to runway 23, and then our approach was quite unstable. And then I was not able to recover the RNAV approach. There's this, I believe that was a bug on the CDU. When those things happen, it's a good practice to have like your co-pilot reprogram the route. But you know, I'm flying solo, trying to get the best performance, not crash, not have any incidents. So I apologize if working on your own on this complex type of airplanes sometimes doesn't give you the results that we were looking for. But anyway, we got here in one piece, a little late, but yeah, 4 hours flight more or less. Let's confirm the timing. So we've been flying for 4 hours and let's stop the chrono, 43 minutes, and we got out of the gate at 5 hours and 9 minutes. So that was a very long flight. We thankfully we have the jump ahead feature, which allows us to jump ahead in time and in space. So we got here a little earlier than expected, and that's good. On the other hand, the approach was very unstable. I believe I know what I messed up. I was in manual descent mode when I should be in automated descent, managed descent mode, in order to you know, keep inside of the constraints to the RNAV approach. But in any case, these approaches are always demanding, and they do require that you make good use of your knowledge and so I think overall it went well. So yeah, thank you guys for coming. Let me see the names, because today we had an open house. Well, a lot of people came in. So Angelo Sanch, Andrew Roth, of course, Lance, Angela Charlotte, second time I believe you came visiting, thank you for coming. Bobby Oskin, my good friend, Melanie Abreu, love your name. And who else? Well, Mirsha, of course, and that's it. All these guys that came into the chat, and especially those that stuck around to the very end. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, Andrew, for your friendship. Misha as well. Everybody's my friend, I suppose. But you guys, you stick around since the beginning. Thank you all for coming. I'm going to tweak that little bar on the top, because it seems like the blue doesn't work that well. It's too dark of a blue. But as for the graphics on the top, I think it worked out pretty well, didn't it? So thank you guys, and I hope to see you next time. Remember, keep the blue side up, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.
I love to fly up in the sky. Through the clouds I reach so high, climbing up to touch the light. Adventure calls me day and night. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dreams begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. The stars above begin to shine, painting trails so bright and fine. Every turn brings something new, endless skies in brilliant blue. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the drum's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light.